Hello, we are live, and I'm here with my Christian brothers, and I was about to say sisters, but there are no girls here. My Christian brothers. I have my friend Zeke, who I've been best friends with since first grade. I think he's muted right now. He's
Hey,
unmuted.
what's up?
I've been friends with this guy since first freaking grade. I mean, that's a long time. All the way.
That was like last year for you? No. He's just so young, you know? No, I'm kidding.
Traveling at the speed of light. But anyway, Jeff left. Dang, I don't know what happened to Jeff. But I also have Peter and Travis here, and they are my Christian brothers, but they're just my younger counterparts, so I strongly disagree with. I told them I'm anti-younger. But we just got done talking about what about the speed of light? How old do we know the universe is besides radiometric dating? We talked about strength and sun, and Peter, I think you had a question, or Travis, it was one of you guys had a question you guys were asking me about the universe.
Trev, that was about uniformity.
Yeah,
Oh
you
yeah.
said, do you believe there's uniformity in nature? I said yes. The laws of physics are fixed and they can't change. If they do change, God is a liar.
Well, according to your way outdrawn argument from the book of Jeremiah, yeah,
No, that's also in
and
the
yeah, you
book of
did take that
Psalms. That's
verse way out
also
of
in the book of
context. So
That's also in the
just
book of
saying.
Psalms. That's in the book of Job. That's not in that one chapter of Jeremiah. It's also in 38 and 34. And the laws of the heavens are fixed, like a fixed income. It's unchanging. And if you actually say that the laws of heaven change, you can't predict anything. There's no reason to believe that tomorrow is going to be like today. Anything can happen. And that's not how the universe works. We know these laws have been here forever. We can even test the entropy curve in the universe from the beginning of the universe. But anyway, you can ask your question.
Peter, you there?
Hello?
You there?
Hello?
Yep, I'm here. I'm waiting for you to explain like your own. So you had a detailed behind question.
All right. All right, let me get to it. Well, I'm getting to it. I have this written down. All right. So, local streaming motions of galaxies are too high for a finite universe that is supposed to be everywhere uniform. Did you know that?
I don't. That sounds like jungle jargon. I don't even know what you're trying to say.
What did you say? What's supposed to be homogeneous in uniform?
The local streaming motions of galaxies are too high for a finite universe
Is this
that
the
is supposed
Goofy
to be
Galaxy
everywhere
thing?
uniform.
Well,
Huh?
I don't know the argument actually.
Right. I'm like,
Yeah.
what
But I mean, we don't know if the universe is homogeneous or not. We assume that it is. The Copernican principle says that there's no preferred place in the universe that could be anywhere determinable from anywhere else. Okay, I mean, there are some anisotropies they're called, some irregularities, but I don't know what that has to do with the finiteness of the universe. Because we don't know if it's finite or infinite. We pretty well assume that it had a beginning, but we don't know what the end is going to be. We have no idea. We think it's a cyclic, but that's just based upon current modeling.
Hmm.
Now you're talking about the streaking sun.
Yeah, I'm talking about local streaming motions of galaxies are too high for a finite universe that's supposed to be uniform.
Why?
What do you mean why?
I mean, I don't understand the argument. Why is it? Why? What makes them too high for a finite universe? We're talking
Let me read this.
relativistic
Let me read
speeds. Are we
this.
talking relative radio vectors? I just don't know the argument.
Well, originally, this was supposed to address Wayne's beliefs on the Big Bang.
Okay.
All right, let me read this to you. In the early 1990s, we learned that the average redshift for galaxies of a given brightness differs on opposite sides of the sky.
Oh,
This is
the horizon problem?
No, this is the quantumization of redshift problem. This has already been resolved. Yeah. What happened here? This was actually they basically looked at 50 quasars and they determined somebody, I don't remember his name, but they basically said there was a quantumization of redshift, meaning that there was a certain values that these redshifts were supposed to fall in. That's what quantum means. It's, basically think of them as distinct things that don't have anything in between them. Like, let's say if you wanted to have quantumization of the info of the integers, 0, 1, 2, 3, those would be a quantumization. You don't have 0.5, you don't have, because 0.5 is not an integer. So when they looked at these 50, they did see a small pattern. If you did a box plot or scatter plot of them, you would actually see a quantumization effect. But after they found hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and more of these things, no pattern developed based upon Z. Z is the redshift of the thing you're looking at. And yeah, that's been long since disproven, only for the fact that that was due to what's called small sample set.
But also, I was telling you, we can know for a fact that the speed of light has not changed. God didn't make the light in transit, and I can even show you from the Bible that God didn't create the stars. I can show you. Let me see. Let me share my screen with you. Give me a minute.
Did you want to know the reason behind the shrinking sun argument as well?
No. Yeah, but they just heard that one.
Okay.
And,
it's not that complicated, actually. Well, it kind of is, but I mean, you can make it really simple.
You can go ahead and say, yeah.
It's just what happened was basically there was a guy named Steil that wanted to come up with a mechanism for the sun, and he basically postulated. Well, he used what's called an Helmholtz or Kelvin-Helmholtz mechanism, Helmholtz contraction. And what this is basically when something cools off, the surface area goes down. It shrinks. Okay, it's just a cooling because there's actually a drop in pressure inside the star. So he used this to be the mechanism instead of gravity to keep up the sun. Normally a star is a balancing pressure between gravitational forces and fusion reactions.
Who's dying?
And these fusion reactions produce what's called neutrinos, right? And there wasn't enough neutrinos. It was called missing neutrinos at one time to actually show the model that we're using, right? What's called a proton-proton cycle. So these neutrinos, they were called missing. There just wasn't enough of them. But since then, with newer studies, they've actually found the missing neutrinos. The model that we had for stellar gravitational balancing, is basically what it is. That's been like 2-3 years ago that was actually discovered. So you're probably reading something that's a little bit older than 2014, 2013, so in that ballpark. Because if you actually look into it and look at just Google missing neutrinos, you'll find what they were talking about. So I was distracted. I was listening to the dog going, oh,
am I too loud?
No.
Can you guys hear the train in the background? Or?
No, I don't. What train?
Oh no, because I'm on the train right now. I was just wondering if it's too loud. Okay, so what's the current argument right now?
Well, I'm about to show you guys from the Bible.
The question was never answered, but okay.
Jeff.
He does the theology. I don't know anything about theology.
Yeah, I'm doing. Yeah, so I can do the science and theology, but I'm better at the theology. Like I was holding my own against those younger creationists the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, are you guys listening in on that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You know what's funny? I get knocked offline just when I was going to explain to them why their post hoc analysis using misunderstanding of Borel's law was wrong, and they had left. And I was so bummed because they're like, anything over 1 to the 50th power is impossible. I'm like, that is not true. No statistician would ever tell you that.
Right. And they're like, oh, this was impossible, therefore it couldn't happen. But then, like, their whole point in case is that creation was supernatural, which means if that's true, we shouldn't be able to test it and repeat it like science. So why are they trying to scientifically prove it if it's outside of natural law?
Well, what if that's God's will?
That's a bad argument. Even theologically, that's a bad argument.
How so?
For a Christian, like I said, if God says something to be true, and he says, this is true about my creation, and we test it, and all of our instruments, with our best instruments, are telling us something.
Oh wait, no. That's not how it works. God is an infinite being, and He made a finite universe, and we have finite minds. How are we able to understand the full creation?
Right. So, is the universe supernatural?
Yes. To an extent.
Prove that.
Impermanence finite. I'm curious too. I've never read a paper.
Yeah.
Saying
So why do you guys?
Well, why is it not supernatural if it was created by a supernatural being?
Well, your logic is it was created by a supernatural being, but that doesn't make it supernatural. Do you guys understand what supernatural means? Supernatural means something outside of the laws of nature, something that it can't be tested, it can't be empirically proven.
I mean, if you're going to use the argument that God created everything, then everything's supernatural. I'm supernatural. You're supernatural. Well, you have no delineation anymore.
Did he die?
Okay, so
he died is supernatural.
Okay, guys. So why do you believe the universe is supernatural, and then Wayne, why do you believe it's hypernatural or hypernatural? Anybody can go.
Wayne, you go.
Open.
Okay.
So thinking.
Okay. Well, we understand from the Bible, different, not even just that one passage, Peter, but we understand from Jeremiah 34, I think it's 33, Job 8. You can go into Psalms like in the 90s, like 92. It says that the laws of the heavens are fixed; they don't change, and that also is consistent with God's character. Why? Because God doesn't change. He's the same forever. Those laws are the same forever until God makes a new creation. They're unchanging. And for those things to change, right, God would be deceptive. Because every time we went out and tried to test something in the Bible, how do you know the laws of nature won't change tomorrow or the next day? God put those laws in place so we can make accurate predictions about the universe around us, so we can know what's going to happen today, tomorrow, and to come.
So, do we think that tomorrow people are going to be raising from the dead?
We have no reason to believe that. Now,
But it's happened before.
okay, but we have no reason to believe that.
We don't have any reason to believe that Jesus Christ rose from the dead?
We don't have a reason to believe that just anybody is going to raise from the dead. It's possible that if Jesus is fully God and fully man, he did it, and he was able to do it. I mean, that logic flows. But for an average naturalistic person who isn't outside of time, or who isn't who isn't omniscient, right? It's probable and possible for a hum to do those things, but for us to do it, who don't have that same power, it's not rational, nor is it reasonable to believe. We don't believe everything is possible. We believe what is reasonable, beyond a reasonable doubt. That's how you go in courtroom cases. So it's not a reason.
That doesn't defy any laws of physics here.
What do you say?
Raising people from the dead does not defy any laws?
Correct. Actually, the quantum mechanics actually allows for it.
Right. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Go ahead. Can you guys explain? So I don't think I ever.
There's actually a theory out there, well, and used as more of a conjecture, that because of quantum mechanical properties, the dead actually can come back to life. Now, most people don't subscribe to that, but it is a consequence of some quantum mechanical modeling. But anyways, go ahead.
So yeah.
Side.
So we have two interpretations of God. I believe my interpretation of God. See, we both believe in the same God. I'm not saying you guys don't believe in Jesus. You guys believe that. My interpretation of God allows me to go out and I can test God and I can see, oh my gosh, what God said in His Word is true, because we can go and we can build up good circumstantial evidence for this God's existence. We can't directly go and look at God, right? But from the stuff that we read in the Bible, we can make certain predictions about what we should see if this God does exist. Now, if your interpretation of God is true, we can't test anything because the laws of nature are always changing. We just don't know. We don't know that we know that we know. That's it.
Not necessarily.
Then how do you prove?
For example, say the laws of physics are completely constant, okay? But God can break the laws of physics if He chooses to, and we know from the Bible that there have been several times, for example, like the talking snake. I would say that probably defies some physics there.
That's a really bad scholarly interpretation. The actual word used for serpent in the Hebrew means trickster. It's a representation. It's not an actual talking.
So, but it's possible, right? Because Lucifer was a shapeshifter, wasn't he?
Everything is possible, but we need to believe what's reasonable.
Well, let's say the laws of physics could change. If the laws of physics could change without supernatural intervention, that's more of the argument with it. to have the argument that laws of physics can change due to supernatural causation doesn't do anything in science because science adheres to methodological naturalism. So you can't posit that. Now, if you want to say that we don't know that if laws of physics could change, that's correct. But we do assume that they could, and we have valid reasons to assume that they couldn't. Because we couldn't have predictive modeling without that assumption.
He dropped out. He'll be back in. But I want to show him too from the Bible too. Like the Bible doesn't say that God created the stars on day 4, and I just got the verse. I just got it. But when he comes in, I guess I'll bring it in. But yeah, I mean, younger creation. I'm telling you guys.
It says it in verse 15 of Genesis 1.
And I'll explain to you why that younger creation interpretation of it is wrong.
That's a pretty standard interpretation of it.
No, right? Not really, actually.
I mean, what other lights is it talking about? I don't think they had light bulbs back then.
Okay. I will explain it to you. Let me share my screen with you. You guys can see my screen? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, right here, right, it says, in the beginning, God created the universe. Or this can be implied to heaven and the earth. Heaven and
black screen.
Huh?
Oh, I'm getting a black screen.
Black screen? Alright, let me choose. Zeke, do you have earrings in? No, those are
Wait,
earphones.
These are headphones, not earrings.
Hey, this person is good.
That's fabulous. Oh.
Oh man, but back to the topic though.
Well, this verse right here, right, or this passage right here, it says, in the beginning God created the universe, right? Notice how anywhere else, right? Let me just type in something. Everywhere else in the Genesis account, God never created anything after Genesis 1:1. He made everything. See, in the Hebrew, right, there's 2 different words for created and made. There's asa and there is bara. And I want to Google it for you guys.
What text are you looking at?
What do you mean, what Hebrew text? The standard Hebrew text that we all look at. But
there's many different ones. Like they have different Greeks, different Hebrews.
Even if your argument was valid from a younger
I didn't get a text.
Huh?
Send you a text. Check your mobile. You have your phone on you?
Hello? Hello?
What's up?
Let me do more scholarly critique. Have you guys ever used Blue Letter Bible?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, Blue Letter Bible, that's really good. The other guy, James Laughlin, he said he used it, and I think he needs to use it again and again and again until he gets that younger creationism. Let's see. I just hate having a Windows 10.
We're leaving. Hurry up.
No, Nephilim, you are not coming in here. No, I can't. I can't. No.
Wait, who's coming in the chat room?
What happened? Did Nephilim try to come in?
Did you call him a Nephilim? The fuck?
What his name is Nephilim?
His name is Nephilim Free.
Nephilim Free.
Where's he at?
Right.
Where's Nephilim at?
This word right here, right? Bara means created. What you say?
Wait, where's Nephilim at?
He commented on the Hangout on the Google Plus thing, like in the
okay.
Yeah. He's like,
oh my God! I can show you a video later that somebody did enough a while back. It is freaking ho hilarious.
You know he doesn't believe in the Trinity, right? He said the Trinity is heretical.
He's anti-Trinitarian. He's a nihilist, annihilationist. He also believes in aliens and UFOs. And yeah.
You mean like the Anunnakis, you know, and the Nephilim, I think, fallen angels and whatnot?
I told you about the reptile people. No.
Back to your
I mean, wasn't it you that said that aliens were really demons? I guess
we're getting off topic. But right here,
I know.
The word created is translated out in the Hebrew. This is the Hebrew text to bara, right? Bara means created. And let me just show you what the actual translation means, because I don't want you guys to take my word for it. This is not what. This is a scholarly critique of what the Hebrews would have thought of these words. All right. To create, to shape, to form. Okay. Actually qualified X.
So
wait, right here. Okay. The first verse it implies to, even in Genesis 1:1, means creating of the heaven and the earth. Now let me show you something else. All right. Let's see, that was Genesis 1:7. Now, there we go. Genesis 1, or is it 1:6? Just suppose. Oh yeah, well that's the first time we imply something was made. Yeah.
So God made. Okay. Oh, my bad.
Right. Yeah. And God made Asa. So you have bara, which means created, and nothing else did God create after that. Asa means made, right? To do, to work, to make, to produce, to work, to build, to act, with effect, to make, to produce, to make, to observe. And so in this particular form, it means to make. So God, He never created something brand new. The word create means to make something, or to create something brand new. But He never created the stars. He made the stars. And then, right, let me even show you what it says in the biblical text. It says, let me see, I want to read from the beginning. And this is what happened. God fashioned two great lights, the larger light to shine during the day, and the smaller light to shine during the night, as well as stars.
Right.
You see where it says as well as stars, right?
Yeah.
This is implying that God created the stars somewhere else, because it's saying He made in this verse, but it's implying He created the stars somewhere else. Now, where do we see the only place God creating? We see God creating right here. God created the universe, the heaven and the earth. This implies that God created everything in the universe, all space, time, and matter. In the beginning, which is time, God created the universe, which is matter. Everything in the universe today was created in Genesis 1:1. And so over here, when you see God made the stars, and then it says, it says as well as the stars right here, it's referring that He created them in 1:1. You needed to have the star. I mean, you need to have stars, and the sun is a star. Before you have vegetation, because the whatchamacallit, the plants, which are living organisms, they need the light from the sun to live. And even if the plants didn't have the light from the sun in one 24-hour period, they still would have died. They needed sunlight. And so God did not create the stars on day 4. That is a younger creationist myth. What did they drop out? Oh, yourself. Everybody's dropping out. I think I did a pretty good scholarly critique.
Yeah, I thought we were talking about this. Why did they leave?
They probably dropped out by accident. But
all three of them?
One of them said my computer is about to die. He said it just died, so his computer just died. The other one, they probably dropped out. Let me see. Let me call Zeke and see what happened. But I think I did a good job. It's the thing that, like I said, they get most of these arguments from younger creationism.
Well, I thought I wanted to talk about the arguments. I mean, these are bad arguments. All of them.
Really bad arguments. All of them.
I mean, they don't even realize that half these arguments. I mean, I still got people bringing up moon dust as an argument for Pete's sake.
Oh gosh!
It's like, come on, really? Or, if I hear Piltdown Man one more time. Some of these arguments, a little bit, there's a little complexity to them, but they're just meant to confuse people. I mean, when you actually look at the actual data, there's nothing to any of them. The younger creationist science just is a misnomer. It has no science to it whatsoever.
Yeah, that's what they don't understand. And oh man, even to defend younger creationism, like I said, you make God look bad. You make him out to be a liar. Why would anybody believe in your God if you're a younger creationist? Why?
That's what I've said for a long time. I mean, if I can't trust somebody to give me scientific accuracies, I'm sure not going to trust it. Give me their theology, and it doesn't make God good. I have scientific evidence and scientific fact that I can go observe and I can go look at, and they're telling me that it's wrong, and then God made it look that way. Then that's a deceitful God.
Right. That's what I was saying. Right. That's what I was saying. Well, that's the same God. Well, I don't want to bash anybody's God, but yeah, it's bad. It's bad. So yeah, they brought up moon dust. No, I mean they brought up the strength and sun thing. Then they brought up I know the other guy, James Lofton. He brought up like the red shift crap. What else?
Yeah, but those are two of the more difficult ones. I haven't really looked into them in a while, but they're not. These guys are not astrophysicists. They're not astronomers. They're not physicists even. They're just parroting what they've heard, not realizing that they're not a good argument. Right. Even creation.com doesn't even use these arguments anymore. They warn people: don't use the moon dust one. Don't use the shrinking sun one. These things have already been explained, and they tell younger creationists, these are just something that we even know are arguments that don't hold water.
What about the thing about polonium halos?
Oh man, that's been going on for 20 years plus. That was Gentry, and what's funny is Gentry eventually, after they realized that he wasn't working with primordial mica, he actually had postulated that yes, he was wrong, but God just made it look that way, and therefore he had invoked the supernatural causation to explain the inconsistencies and errors in the data with the halos. And it's like as soon as he did that, then his paper was obviously shit. Well, I wouldn't call it paper, but his hypothesis went to crap because he was invoking a supernatural mechanism, and he just was like, well, God just made it look that way. Well, that doesn't really do anything else in science. So yeah, polonium halos is another one of those things that have just been totally just discredited because of the type of material they were using was not primordial. And of course, Nephilim and these guys like to get a hold of this kind of stuff, and they like to be obfuscated and run with it. And of course, they are kind of technical stuff. I haven't looked in that argument for many years either. But they always find a way to confuse people. But when you look at the pros and cons, you look at one side, where people are claiming polonium halos, and you look at the other side, the physicists. Yeah, I mean, you got to be able to say, okay, who's telling the truth? Unless you have some kind of knowledge about it, it's very difficult to do sometimes.
Yeah. And like I say, they prey on people who don't know this stuff, and then they give it to their followers, and then they go out and parrot it to people, and then once they find out this stuff isn't wrong, then they're like, oh well, I'm just gonna lose my faith or whatever. So it's a sad thing. It's a sad ordeal.
Well, I was hoping they'd bring up Tompkins' work or something.
Oh yeah, they might. Well,
are they coming back? Or?
I don't know. I just text one of my friends. Because the other guy's like, yeah, my laptop died, and I text the other one. Is his phone working? I mean, like, they all just dropped like that, like, and it's just me and you, like.
Yeah, I was hoping talk to some young earthers, man.
Was it getting like technical? Was I using like jargon?
No, you're keeping it simple.
Yeah, what happened? You dropped out.
Yeah, I have no idea, dude.
All right, got you.
I was listening to Truth for a while. I was talking to a guy named Jake. Wait, can you still hear me?
Yep, I still hear you.
He was talking to some guy named Jake, and Jake was trying to make a very good argument. And when you have a dialectic and you basically are having a to and fro, it's very difficult to stay on target sometimes. I get that, but he kept trying to change the subject because Jake was literally nailing him on his argument being bad. That if you posit an explanation of intelligent design to explain a mind with a substrate, then you have to do the same thing to God, and that is an infinite reason. And also, True starts changing up the topic, and he wants to talk about, of course, his go-to thing, which is ATP synthase.
ATP mayonnaise and
ATP mayonnaise. It's like whatever you're talking about, it doesn't matter. True's going to change it to ATP synthase. And
Steve, he started sharpshooting at me, and I'm like, dude, I'm not a geneticist. I'm here to talk about the theology behind everything. And he's like, yeah, I understand, but the genetics behind this and that, and I'm like, bye, goodbye.
Well, why does it matter? Okay, he was asking him. Okay, there's certain things in part of the proton gradient across the ATP synthase. Okay, there's the cytosome BC1 complex and the cytosome oxidase, cytochrome C oxidase. Sorry, and he basically is asking Jake, who doesn't study biology, he doesn't study genetics, right? And he's sharpshooting him. It's like, okay, well, if you don't know what cytochrome C oxidase is, then why are you qualified to talk about ATP synthase? And Jake had a brilliant response. He's like, well, what are your qualifications to talk about ATP synthase? And he wouldn't respond. True empiricism will never respond about his qualifications. He'll always deflect it to other people, saying, well, Aaron Ra doesn't have any qualifications. Yeah, but Aaron Ra doesn't claim to be an expert. He doesn't claim to have any expertise in these things. He's just very good. And he gets a lot of his information from his wife, but he is very knowledgeable in these topics. But he never says he has an expertise. And True, he thinks he's an expert. He actually said he's an expertise in some of these things. He knows a lot about chemistry. Okay, well, where is his qualifications? I mean, who the hell cares what cytochrome C oxidase is? Does it matter? It's just retarding this structuring crap.
It's amazing to me how the same medicine that he says doesn't exist, right? The same research and stuff like that he said doesn't exist. He goes to these same places as soon as he gets sick.
Yeah, isn't that ironic, right? All modern medicine is based upon evolutionary concepts. I mean, you can't even have looking at an unknown strain of bacteria. You can't do a genomic sequence of it and then look on the phylogeny and find out what group it belongs to, unless that prediction modeling holds true. And that he'll use all the wonders of science and all the wonders of modern medicine and just completely degrade it every time he gets. And then again, like I said, why sharpshoot people? If I was to have a discussion with you, Wayne, do I try to go upon? I'll ask you basic questions, right? I'll ask people basic questions, but why the frick do I have to care if you know what NADH dehydrogenase is or cytochrome B1C complex? It makes no difference whatsoever in our discussion if you have that kind of technical expertise or not.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Are younger creations coming back in? Zeke, is Jeff coming back in? I know Jeff has some theological questions and stuff.
I can't do it the robot. She's breaking up.
Hello?
I'm gonna ask him about it. Hold on, let me text him. Yeah, I just asked him if he's coming back in it.
Yeah, he should be coming in. But yeah, Zeke, dude, all of the arguments, I was like, oh, hold on. Because, if I didn't have a direct argument, right?
Yeah.
Because I probably never heard that before, but I know for a fact the arguments are old. Dude, most of the younger creations arguments are from the 90s. Most of them are. And these are the same arguments that Kent keeps on using on his YouTube channel, talking about polonium halos, and he's telling people we can cure cancer. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
I don't think we should really do that because, yeah.
Well, I think he's backing off the B17 thing because he was sending people to his son's webpage, and now that they're not.
Now that they're not.
I've heard a lot about that B17 thing. I've heard bad stuff, and then I've heard good stuff. I heard
everything you heard is bad is true. I mean, you got to remember, B17 is not a real vitamin. It's known as amygdalin, also known as Laetrile. And it does break down into cyanide. It does that.
All right, so what I missed?
Not much. But there are side effects. And a matter of fact, it looks like he actually suffers from some of the side effects. Droopy eyelids, redness.
Right, he had the cherry red skin and stuff like that. And he had
So is it a synthetic mineral?
No, it's a compound. It's a chemical. It's called amygdalin.
Okay.
And it will break down.
What are you guys talking about now?
In your body, B17. Which is not, like I said, it's not a real vitamin.
Hovind just thinks it is.
Not a cure for cancer. Back in the 70s, before any of your guys' time, there was a scam to cure cancer. It was called the apricot cure, basically. It was basically eating apricot seeds, and a derivative of apricots is Laetrile. and Laetrile is the chemical that's in actually the brand name or amygdalin that B17 is, and the FTC actually stopped it and said you cannot sell this as a cure, and you can't even sell this across state lines, but they do it anyways.
Wow.
Because people are dying from it.
and that's where Kent Hovind gets his whole spiel from in the 90s, talking about, hey, I met a guy who cured cancer with apricot seeds. Really? Where's the paper? Where is the paper that this guy can cure cancer?
I wouldn't.
It's complete quackery, I assure you. This is he's just running with something that they did, 30, 40 years ago. These things come around all the time, right? Because people forget about them, or they're just not old enough to remember these scams. But this was a huge scam back in the 70s. People did die because they did not seek professional cures. They went to alternate medicines, and especially breast cancer was a leading thing that women died because they were trying to take Laetrile cures or apricot cures for breast cancer. They ended up dying from it.
So Steve, what was your first run-in with a younger creationism? Like I never heard the story. Like were you like at a church and Kid Ham came and he started?
No. It's not really that much to tell. It's just basically I was in LDS chat rooms years ago on AOL, and I was not practicing LDS, but I was interested in theology still back then. And occasionally somebody would come in and they would, give an argument why the Earth is only 7,000 years old, and I'm like, okay, this is beyond stupid to me. This is something like flat Earth, right? I didn't know much about it, but the arguments back then were pretty simplistic, and they weren't these complicated ones that people are getting into now. So I was able to easily refute them. But now, all these years later, then they use more complicated ones. Like for example, I've actually, as you know, I've gone through Hovind's handbook, his Creationist Handbook, 9th edition, and I've destroyed every single scientific argument on there. And even he has told me he won't be using 2 of them anymore, because he says he can't go back and change his handbook.
Right. That's on your YouTube channel. You guys, whoever's watching, you can look that up.
Yeah. Hovind actually. What Zeke? Is that your name? Say your name, Zeke?
Yep, Zeke.
That is. Zeke. Yeah. Hovind actually said that he couldn't go back in time and change his handbook, but he wouldn't be using these 2 arguments for future reference, which were radiometric dating claims that he had used. So, I don't believe him. I still think he'll use them, but yeah, his arguments, younger arguments all of them can be disproven. Every single one of them, I assure you. Just some are more difficult than others.
Yeah, and for the more people keep on dropping off. Maybe you got a phone call. I don't know, but I don't know. And a lot of the Christians, like in the Google Plus community, they're like younger creationists, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, I wish more people would come in. I wish, and not Nephi, by the way, but I wish more younger creationists who want to actually know why younger creationists is wrong would come in. That's for sure.
And then of course, they are gonna have questions and stuff like, what about this and what about that, and they're not gonna come to it overnight and stuff. So, yeah.
I would post it on my channel here, but I think Sam the Scientist is doing a copyright right now.
All right, got you. Oh, Zeke says something is up with his 4G. But yeah, I don't think those younger creationists are coming back in here. I think they left for good.
The Logic Zone's having a hangout at 3 o'clock.
Say that one more time.
The Logic Zone is having a hangout at 3. He only has one every Sunday.
I don't think I know who that is.
He's a cool guy. Want the link? We can pop over there.
Let me see. It's between that or going to the other guy. Thank you, Jesus' hangout. So I'll see.
Well, say hi to Carlos for me. I still want to have a chat with Carlos. Me and him are supposed to have a one-on-one. We haven't really had one.
Weird. Well, I'm gonna end this hangout, but I guess I'll see.